hospitals are places of healing, sanctuaries where lives are saved. But what happens when one sworn to protect become the source of an unspeakable harm? Tonight, we unravel the terrifying case of Charles Cullen, a nurse whose chilling actions earned him the name the Angel of Death. The story begins in 1987 when Charles Cullen, a seemingly devoted nurse, began his career at St. Barnabas Medical Center in New Jersey. Cullen was soft spoken, blending seamlessly into the background of the bustling hospital. Patients and colleagues alike saw him as kind, reliable, and professional. But beneath his calm exterior, Cullen was harboring a sinister compulsion. Within months of starting his new job, patients began dying unexpectedly. The deaths were subtle, often attributed to natural causes, yet behind the scenes, Cullen was injecting lethal doses of medications like digoxin and insulin into IV bags, a method that made his crimes nearly undetectable. By the time suspicions began to arise, Cullen had already moved on to another hospital, leaving a trail of unexplained deaths in his wake. Each new facility welcomed him with open arms, desperate to fill nursing shortages, and unaware of the horror they had just invited. As Cullen's career progressed, so did the frequency of the deaths. From Pennsylvania to New Jersey, hospitals became unwitting accomplices in his deadliest spree. Whenever scrutiny mounted, Cullen simply resigned and moved on, leaving grieving families behind and no concrete evidence to hold him accountable. Investigators were often hampered by fear of lawsuits. Facilities quietly dismissed Cullen rather than confront the possibility that one of their own might be a killer. In some cases, administrators actively covered up discrepancies, prioritizing reputation over justice. Despite the mounting body count, Cullen's demeanor remained disturbingly ordinary. He continued to work night shifts, caring for patients as though nothing was amiss. Coworkers noticed his peculiar behavior, his detachment, his odd sense of humor, but no one could fathom the extent of his crimes. It wasn't until 2003, when Cullen was working at Somerset Medical Center, that the walls began to close in. A sharp eyed pharmacist noticed a suspicious pattern in drug orders, particularly in medication that were rarely prescribed and often fatal in high doses. This discovery set off a chain reaction, finally bringing Cullen's decades long killing spree into a light. Confronted with mounting evidence, Cullen confessed to killing at least 40 patients over his 16-year career. However, investigators believe the true number could be closer to 400, making him one of the deadliest serial killers in history. When asked why he committed these heinous acts, Cullen claimed he was easing suffering, a justification that brought no comfort to the victims' families. His chilling lack of remorse was perhaps the most disturbing aspect of his confessions. Cullen was sentenced to 11 consecutive life terms without possibility of parole. He will spend the rest of his days in prison, his name forever synonymous with betrayal and fear. Charles Cullen exploited the trust placed in healthcare professionals, turning hospitals into his hunting grounds. His case is a grim reminder of the vulnerabilities within systems meant to protect us. We trust nurses with our lives, believing they are angels of mercy, but Charles Cullen proved that even angels can have a deadly side.